Ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem. And that problem is Mystic Champions. So we did this a long time ago where we talked about like new champions coming in and the extent of like how many certain champions there are, different classes. Yeah, we have a problem now with Mystics in that there is now a deficit of about 4 to 5 in order to kind of match up with everything else. But we're going to do full analysis in this video. So it's fair to say with regards to the numbers and how they look currently, that playable champions, hey, there's not as much when it comes to Mystic. 17 is all champions that we've got at Mystic. Compared with the other ones, there's a lot. But it doesn't mean to say that there is a low amount of mystical or magical based characters in the Marvel Universe that haven't actually been added in. There's actually a lot, and there's going to be a few that we're going to talk about with regards to breaking that deficit. That would be really handy and also quite fun for players to play in Marvel Contest of Champions. So let's break down the stats. First of all, we've got 23 for Cosmic. And if you're aware, there's been a lot of decent Cosmic Champions being added to the game fairly recently. This year has been a strong kind of push for Cosmic Champions. Last year, if we kind of talk about champions like Carnage, then hey, not so much. But with regards to a strong kind of put in the game, yeah, Medusa in particular, Hell has been a good champion. There's a lot of decent Cosmic-based champions that have been added in, and hopefully throughout the year, there's going to be some more added in. And also just to let you know that Corvus Glaive will probably make this 23 to a 24 when he is added into the game next week. So yeah, a lot of kind of big push for Cosmic Champions, especially with things with Infinity War. It seemed to be a thing that was definitely going to happen. Mystics in 2018 so far, I've seen 2 champions, Sabretooth and Bishop, being added in, which is good, but at the same time, it doesn't really help out the fact that Mystics are very low in abundance. The last time we really saw anything Mystic related being put in, I think, was Mephisto. It was around the time we had Mephisto, we had Morningstar, and that kind of that double Mystic month, which is a pretty cool month, back in, I think it was November time. Yeah, strong month, and it was nice to see 2 Mystic champions because yes, they are flagging, and as we're going to go on to Science and Tech, we'll be kind of looking at the fact that we're going to get 2 either Science or Tech champions when it comes to May. So that doesn't really kind of put us in a point where we go, hey, we need more Mystics. And we're going to look at the options of Mystics that they could add in. Science has really seen a decent padding of late, which is phenomenal and also very well received because they seem to be flagging quite a bit along with the Mystic line. But seeing your Modocs, your Gladiator Hulks, your Sentry and Void come in a very short time frame, it's absolutely astounding to see them in. And at the same time, there's been some gems. We'll kind of look over the Sentry things. Yes, when he's released, it wasn't great. And with regards to the buffs that he's got, have made him a more pleasing champion. Void is a great champion. See it so many times with regards to defense champion, as well as Gladiator Hulk being a good attacking champion. And then obviously MODOK. Well, MODOK's a brilliant champion, especially for Alliance Wars. So yeah, loads of different things that are kind of really working well for these Science champions. Great additions to the contest. Not something or a champion that could go against the might of Labyrinth of Legends, but still it's good to see decent champions being added in. And also maybe we're going to see a Captain America Infinity War that is Science, but also it could be skill, and we'll just move on to skill now. Just like Science and hitting up that number 20 kind of mark with regards to total of champions, skill comes in. There's been some good additions with regards to skill. We've had Taskmaster, we've had Killmonger, we've even had Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, great champions that have kind of come in, especially close to 2018. So there's been a good kind of strong kind of push for that, which again is fantastic, but it doesn't sort out our Mystic issue. And also going into next month, are we going to see this Captain America as a skill? And I know a lot of people will question that theory on why it could be a skill. But we've got certain ones like Thor Ragnarok, because he's a different type of Thor, a different visionman. With regards to placement, will they kind of change that? Will they make him a skill this time as opposed to a Science? I don't know. I'd be quite excited to see what they do with it, but we'll just have to wait until May. And finally, Tech. Expect next month a new Iron Man suit, which will put this up to 22, which still is quite strong for Tech because they were kind of flagging a little bit. Each new Tech that's been put in has been met with either kind of great positivity or resistance, especially with regards to like Sentinel, because obviously all that problems with Alliance Quest has been a little bit annoying. But when it comes to like this Iron Man suit, people are really hoping that we can have a strong Iron Man armor that is going to be able to do a lot of difficult content and kind of like build and also be in there for the long haul, because like how Iron Man kind of works is that you expect Iron Man to be about for a long time. That's obviously with the arc overload. But yeah, we just don't want a weak Iron Man. We want a strong Iron Man that's been able to have a fantastic signature ability, maybe something that works well with regards to synergies. But yeah, really excited for this when Iron Man, the Infinity War version, is put in next month. So with Mystic largely suffering when it comes to additions of new champions in the game, let's look at some options that they could put in and maybe talk about a little bit stories and also signature abilities for them. First up is Nico Mineral, and I think a lot of people will kind of go, hey, I'm familiar with that name or the character. Yes, she is also called Sister Grimm, and she is in Runaways. This is a TV show that's just gone at the moment. A lot of people may go, hey, she could be a mutant based on a certain training. Well, a lot of the powers that she kind of demonstrates and uses are very magical rather than mutation side of things. The main aspect of her powers is all about magic, so things with regards to like utilizing a staff as well as kind of blood magic. This is she can do things like flight, there's telekinesis, there's so many different things like energy related that this particular character could do within Marvel Contest of Champions, so would like to see Sister Grimm in at a later date. Next up is Michael T. Youngman or Shaman. This is an amazing character. I was reading up a little bit about this before doing the video, and in particular Shaman's like list of powers are endless, and the kind of the look of the character is amazing. It's one of these where I just love to see him feature in the MCU in some sort of capacity, because he would be such an asset to help out the Avengers as well as kind of like anyone else, and have his own, I think, mainly standalone film. I doubt he would be able to kind of like help out the Avengers, but a standalone film and kind of incorporate things with regards to sorcery would be so cool. As well, Shaman's had some hardships. He's widowed, and there's just like so many like other kind of great things that would associate him with like the mountains and things like that would just make this character so much fun to watch at the cinema if he was put in. But anyway, on to powers and what I think would come into Marvel Contest of Champions. Effectively, he can do what Doctor Strange can do, but it seems to be a little bit better. It gets all the things like astral projection, healing, you're looking at mystical bolt. There's so many things that he can do similar to Doctor Strange, but it'd be cool to have a character like this being put into the game that can do that and a little bit more. Next up is Captain Britain. And this character was formed based on the strengths given by mystical powers in association with Merlin. So it seems fairly obvious that this character, if was added into the game, and I really would like him to be added in, that he would be a mystic based champion. Even though, as we've said, most of his powers come from mystical elements, there is the big worry that he potentially will be a skill, like the way that they kind of worked out Blade. In actuality, Blade should be more of a mystic champion, but again, people could say that it's a mutation based on the interference with his mother at the point of conception, or whilst he was a baby. That kind of aspect and argument is, again, common. The common argument is, and common settle the argument even, is to say, hey, well, Blade, just make him a skill and do it that way. I think in some ways people might say that for this particular character, but I'd like to kind of see more strength, as I said, to the mystic line, and the way that you got his powers is very in keeping with stuff with Merlin and mystical elements. Next up is Wiccan, and he is a son of a witch, so he has got to be a mystic, there's no doubt in that. When it comes to powers, Wiccan has a long list of them. He is going to be able to like kick some ass if he was put into the game. There's talk that he was kind of linked with Scarlet Witch. It's a great story that he is a big admirer of her and kind of draws a lot of inspiration rather than looking her as like a mother. It's kind of like an inspirational figure, and you can see it's very reminiscent with some of the powers that he does possess. Either way, he's going to be able to smash through content if he was to put into the game. And of these four that I strongly kind of feel this one would be one of the best. So that has been the video all about a problem with Mystic Champions and the potential solution to that problem. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and obviously if you've got any suggestions of mystical based champions that I should put into the game, then put it into the comment section. If you disagreed with the ones that I came up with, the four, in order to kind of pad the gap, then let me know in the comment section and show which one you think would be a better alternative than the ones chosen. And obviously you can follow me on social media, links in the description. You can follow the channel for more Marvel Contest of Champions based content, and as always, I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.